See, I told y'all I'll come back. Dear men, what is it? What is the type of beard that Shamar with the braids have in this movie? Like, what is it called? Because it looks like an 8 o'clock shadow to me. His beard been sleep. Oh, and there's a crackhead friend named Deborah that could sing. That's Brian's BM. And also, I think they're still married. They working through it. Medea be feeding her sometimes. Then we have a scene where Tyler Perry's talking to himself. Because it's Medea, Joe, and Brian, all played by Tyler Perry. Medea in the scene's telling Brian, like, you need to forgive Deborah. He like, hell no, I can't trust her. You know, Medea got to teach everybody a lesson. This lesson I got was, oops, my light died, but whatever. A broken light don't stop the shine. Ding. Oh, and if y'all didn't know, Uncle Joe, Medea's brother, is Brian's dad. So Shamar with the braids name in the movie is Orlando. Okay, y'all. So the next couple months, Helen and Orlando are falling in love. Oh, and when they were in bed, Helen get the Shawnee O'Neal in, telling us that she's never felt like this before. Okay, Helen girl. So eventually, Charles and Helen go to court. Now, mind y'all, Charles is a lawyer. Brian a lawyer too, and he was there to represent Helen, but Charles a big-time lawyer. Helen said he can have it all. Now, in the movie, they wrap it up in a nice little bow, making it seem like she just gave it all to him, just like Tina Turner. She just want her name. Oh, R.I.P. Tina. What's love got to do? Thank y'all for letting me have my moment. If y'all didn't know, well, now y'all do. Next, I'm going to do What's Love Got to Do with It. Y'all, that is one of my favorite movies. That and The Grinch and Shrek and Grease and Dreamgirls, Chicago. I like musicals. And almost every Tyler Perry play, besides the ones that came out after like 2015. All that Aunt Bam, Aunt Wham, Aunt Pam. I'm good. But thank you for your contribution to society, Tyler Perry. But anyway, I said all that to say, in the movie, they wrapped it up in a nice bow, like Helen just, want to be done with Charles, whatever, he can have it all, just pay for my mom to be in that play. In real life, she probably would have lost, and we know that she signed a prenup. I want to go back to school to be an attorney, so I pay attention to these type of things. So my attorney brain turned on, my Olivia Pope brain turned on, and I'm like, girl, I don't think he was gonna win that anyway. No offense to Brian, but yeah. Look at Brian House compared to Charles and them house. That'll tell you the settlements and the payouts and the billable hours and the rates. Yeah. Brian more like a public defender. Charles get niggas off for tax fraud. But yeah, that was just my opinion of that. So Charles, with his fat dickhead ass, I'm sorry, sir, in real life, you just played that role so well that I have to insult you every time I talk about your character. Next scene is this Ninja Turtle at the trial for his, old buddy, old pal. And he was found guilty. Lock his ass up. What Paris said? Send that nigga to jail. He got mad as they was taking him back. Grab a gun, shoot Charles in the back. Boom! The courtroom is in a frenzy. Somebody get an ambulance, hurry. I mean, say the man life, but take y'all time. Someone get help. Yeah, get help. Slowly. So then we see Helen and Orlando being loving on each other and all that stuff. Then the next day, Helen wake up and boom, a ring. She get to moving her curls and playing with her hair. And then she said, oh, what is that? It's a ring, girl. Orlando love you. You deserve happiness, Helen. Orlando get, to spilling out his heart, telling her how much you want to be with her and all of this stuff, right? Just for her to see behind him on the TV that Charles bitch ass got shot. So she go running to save Charles. After this man that loved her like nobody else has ever loved her proposed to her, she decided to go save the Ninja Turtle's life. She decided to go to the hospital to check on this meatloaf head ass man. So at the hospital with Charles, the doctor said, hey, it's not looking good. What y'all want us to do? Helen said, do everything in your power to save his life. Aw, Helen got a heart. Helen is healed. And in real life, I love that for her. In the movie, kill him dead. I'm with Brenda. Let him go. Like Elsa. Brenda trying to make decisions, but Brian there as Helen's lawyer and said, legally, she's still his wife. That's when she told him, save his life and stuff. Brenda get all mad talking about what kind of quality of life is that man gonna have if he can't walk. No, baby, you're thinking about the quality of life you thought you were gonna have because that man could walk. Now what are you gonna do now that he can't? But we're gonna put a pin in Brenda. So Brenda stormed out the hospital because she's like, damn, my meal ticket wrote a check his ass couldn't cash. Then we see scenes of Helen being by Charles' side throughout his whole entire recovery until he goes home. And guess what? He goes home in a wheelchair. See, Helen is the advanced version of healed for me because she's even praying over this man. Not only is she there just to make sure he all right, she want to make sure he gets better and better and better. Why? So he can get up and walk out of your life again? So like I said, finally Charles get home. Then they show a montage of every time he hit her and every room got a bad memory and all this shit. Look, Helen, you did all that healing just to go back to the place that traumatized you the most, just to bring back just to open all those old wounds. Because what she does next, y'all, told me that bitch ain't all the way healed. Helen's still my cousin. Because when they fuck around, they'll find out. This bitch is in a wheelchair. Smack the shit out of him. She doing something, and I guess she's not doing it good enough for him. He talking about get out, call Brenda, where are my kids? Brenda left you, and she said these ain't even really your kids, nigga. She said you can't walk, but I'm gonna take me and my good legs up out of here. And I'm gonna take all your shit too. Just when we think Helen gonna get stepped on again by the nigga with no legs, she stops right next to him and she's walking out. She proceeds to slap the fuck out of him. Right across the back of his bald ass head, and I hope it burned, bitch. She said, let me tell you something. Old Helen is gone. Helen said, you know what? I was gonna leave, but now I'm gonna tell you how the fuck I feel. I wanted kids. You kept fucking around with bitches and giving me stuff. My uterus was all fucking corroded from the inside out. So I couldn't have kids. I actually had 2 miscarriages, you dirty bitch. So let me shove this picture of you and your happy family down your throat. So you know he paralysis by the legs. And she said at the end of her rant, I'm gonna let you sit here and think about everything I said like he's a fucking child. But that's what he's been acting like this entire movie, an entitled, spoiled child. So I used to say, you talk shit and then you eat it, meaning you say something you really don't mean and you're basically eating your words. In this case, Charles talked shit and had to sit in it. Helen came back and was like, you stink. So she comes back to Shitty. She grabs his wheelchair. He think everything kumbaya. No, this bitch literally full speed tosses him into the hot tub. He can't move. It's on his side making bubbles and shit. She like, stop making bubbles, bitch. So this is stressing Helen out so bad she had to smoke a cigarette. Stay away from Medea, Helen. So she gets some more shit off of her chest. You tried to kick me out of our house, keep me from our money? Nah, ho. So then Charles be all dramatic and try to drown himself. Helen said, not today. Get up. I was there when all we had was each other. Then we get the iconic scene. She eating this little ass salad. Whether I'm fat or not, that salad had to piss everybody off. Cause what was that? For dinner? Well, at least she had something to eat. He had nothing. He at the other side of the table crying. Talking about, Christina's gone. Oh, Helen going to hell now. I forgot that she asked him was he hungry and told him to go in the kitchen and make himself something to eat. You know he can. You know that was a low blow, Helen. Low by the legs. Then we find out that the tramp Brenda didn't leave any money to pay Christina, so Christina don't work there no more. Like I said, Christina said if it ain't about the money. Shout out to T.I. Helen said she packed all her things and some of yours and left. Then we find out Brenda cleaned out the bank account and didn't leave a penny in there for him. She said you tried to keep it from me and this hoe took it all. Now you have nothing but this house and that wheelchair. I don't know how y'all felt about that, but I felt like that was karma literally biting a chunk out of Charles' ass. Then Helen finally meets up with Orlando and gets to telling him that she don't know and all this other stuff. Orlando just want his girl. Like, what are you doing, boo? And we see R.I.P. Cicely. She said, don't you open that door before you close the other one. Charles has like a come to Jesus moment and be like, oh, you so kind-hearted and all this other shit. You knew that. That's why it was so easy for you to fuck over her with Miss Brenda. Now you see that she the only one that's really there for you. You don't got nobody but Y'all remember the Fiend friend? Brian's wife? She came into church and blew it down. Well, her vocals, that is. Charles get up and magically walk at this church service. Praise God. Lastly, they at Medea's house for dinner, and Helen get to realizing, I don't want to be with this nigga. I want to be with Orlando. So she leave and she get the Orlando job. She gets to running through the steel mill. Orlando. They like, hey, you can't be back here with no hard head. Well, a hard head make a soft ass because Orlando sure did grab it. He said, my girl is back. And Helen is lucky. A lot of men would not have waited for Helen. Like, you gonna go back to that after everything he put you through and then now you gotta be his caretaker? And he don't have no money to pay you? But at the end of the day, love is love. And that was my review of Diary of a Mad Black Woman.